everybody! Hey, Stephen Kennedy, thanks for coming in. Sorry, it took me a while to go live. So anyway, I made some tea and I'm gonna play a little bass in a minute. But I wanted to come on here. I'm gonna wait for a couple people to at least show up here first. Just to say real quick, it's amazing to me how many views I get when I'm warning people about stuff. Versus when I go over Bible scripture, I only get like maybe 10, 15 views. But when I start talking about somebody else, I get like over 200 views, sometimes 150 views. It's amazing to me how people watch videos when it's about somebody else. Or when you're warning people about stuff, they'll come and they will eat it up. But if it's biblical scripture, nope. Only got like 20 views. Anyway, I guess nobody's gonna come in, so. So I'm gonna go ahead and go over it. Sorry, it's probably backwards on the screen, but it says Yeshua, the name above all names. This is a car magnet. You can get it from gods10.com. I wanted to show you guys these because they're really cool. And you can promote Jesus this way. And it's not just Jesus stickers. They got Yeshua and they're magnets so you can put them on your car. I think these are like 10 bucks. And then they got big ones that are really big and they're like 40 bucks. They're about the size of I think they're probably about 11 by, bigger than 11 by 14, like 24 by something. I can't remember how big they are, but they're pretty good size, you know. So anyway, you got the Yeshua, the name above all names. You can go on gods10.com and get those. You got the legalized Jesus, gods10.com. You got the God's 10 Commandments. And then, of course, you got the Jesus one. So anyway, it's a really cool way of promoting Jesus. It's a really easy and efficient way. You can get, you know, like 2 or 3 of them for 30, 40 bucks. And it also, it helps out a church that's in Montana. I was up there at Glacier National Park working up there, and I met these beautiful, wonderful, amazing people there. And they sell these magnets, and they're really cool. I got them all over my truck, and I give them away all the time. I bought 40 bucks worth of them, and I just give them away to whoever God tells me to give them away to, and they put them on their car, and the promotion of Jesus goes all around the United States, you know. So you never know. Somebody could be on the side of the road praying to God, and he sees you drive by with the Jesus magnet on, and that could be the only sign he needs to believe. He could be on the side of the road praying that very moment, that very time. And then he sees you drive by with one on, and that could be his sign, you know. And that's how God works through us, you know. That's how God could work through you, you know, is with one of these signs on the side of your truck. The gentleman that sells these, he told me a story about how this guy walked up to his truck, and he had like a bunch of them on his truck. I mean, it's ridiculous how much this guy has on his truck. He's probably got 20, 30, who knows, maybe even 50 magnets on his truck. And this guy in a hoodie walked up to his truck, and he said, "Hey, I need you to pray for me." And he goes, "Well, what do you need me to pray for you about?" And he said, "Well, I was thinking about committing suicide this morning, and I said if God didn't give me a sign today, then I was going to commit suicide in the morning." And he said, "But I saw your truck with all those magnets, and I just want you to pray for me because I'm having suicidal thoughts." And he prayed for him right then and there, and that gentleman was saved that very night, and from suicide. And and Jesus saved him. Jesus saved him that day, that very day, just because that man had the stickers, the magnets on the side of his truck. He might have not have walked up to that truck if he wouldn't have saw those magnets. So you never know how something as little as a magnet can save somebody's life. So if you wanna check out some of these magnets, go to gods10.com. That's GODS, the number 10.com. Go to their website, buy you a couple magnets. They'll mail them to you, and only $10 a piece, which isn't much because they spend more than what they get, than what they sell for these, because they're really big on spreading the gospel. They're more worried about spreading the gospel than they are worried about making money off these magnets. Trust me, they sell them for cheaper than what they buy them. I think he was telling me that he sells them for $10 and he buys them for like 12 a piece. So he's losing money on them. But that's not the point. They're there to promote Jesus and spread the gospel, and so it's really admirable of him to sell them a lot cheaper than what he buys them for, because he just wants to spread the gospel. So there's that. So anyways, I guess nobody's gonna come in and see me. Maybe I should wait a little longer. Maybe I should play a couple songs. So I really wanted to wait a little bit for some people to come on before I told the story that I was gonna say. What are you doing in here, Nate? Just getting ready to play some bass and tell everybody a story. Surprised you're not on Douglas's channel right now. Yeah, you better be good, because I'll kick you out. Even though I love you, man. But this is a godly channel, so I try to keep it as nice as I can. So I guess I can start playing the bass a little bit here, and wait for some people to come in before I start my story. Oops, sorry about that. I don't have all the cool computer equipment like everybody else does on this thing. So anyway, this song is called Feel the Rain. You'll feel the rain. You'll kneel to the name. He's King of Kings and Lord of Lords every day. You'll feel the rain. You'll kneel to his name. So why do you wait? He's King of Kings and Lord of Lords every day. You'll feel the rain. You'll kneel to his name. So why do you wait? He's King of Kings and Lord of Lords every day. You'll feel the rain. You'll kneel to his name. So why do you wait? He's King of Kings and Lord of Lords every day. I don't know how I quite want to end that song. So I got 2 people in here. Don't be shy. Oh, I also wanted to say the person who's liking all my comments, but they're not willing to say who they are. It's just someone likes my comments, like all of my comments. Oh, and then they left. They left. I had a feeling that someone that likes my comments, they just left. Thanks, Nathan. I appreciate that. So anyway, I just want to tell that someone, that's really creepy. It's really creepy that you like all my comments and that you're just a someone. So if you're not willing to reveal who you are, or if you're somebody that's creeping around, like, that's creepy. That's really, really, really creepy. So if you're not willing to express who you are, then don't like my comments anymore. Like, for real. And I'm pretty sure I know who you are. I'm not going to say any names, but I'm pretty sure I know who it is. Hi, Tara Martin. Thanks for coming in. I'm playing a couple songs, and then I got a really cool story for you. Thanks, Nathan. I appreciate that. How are you doing tonight, Tara? Jesus, Jesus. here by my side. You're the only one who knows me. You're the only one who shows me that this world is hot and sometimes it's cold, but here you are again. You're gonna save the day, the only risen Savior. You're gonna save the day, and ooh, we need you. Ooh, we need you. Ooh, we need you. Jesus, 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 we need you here by our side. You're the only one who knows us. You're the only one who shows us that this world is hot and sometimes it's cold, but here you are again. You're gonna save the day. The only risen Savior, we need you. Ooh, we need you. Ooh, we need you. Thanks for coming in tonight, you guys. I think I'm going to play one more song, and then I'm going to let you guys in on a little story of mine. And then I'll probably play some more bass. So, kind of waiting for people to come on here. So I want at least a couple people to listen to my story. The main reason why I got on here is because I want to let you guys know about the story that happened to me. It's really cool. Check it out, you guys. Okay, so I used to live in Colorado. No, I do not have an Instagram. I used to live in Colorado. I lived in Colorado for a couple years. And I worked at Mesa Verde for 2 seasons. And Mesa Verde is a Hopi Anasazi Indian Dwelling National Park. People come from all over the world to see these Native American Indian dwellings. Um, and basically, I met this guy there, and one of a good buddy of mine that I met there, and we went out hiking one day out to see one of these Native American dwellings. And we had kind of been talking throughout the we had kind of been talking throughout the throughout a couple weeks. I've been kind of hanging out with him, and we were kind of talking about how he feels about Jesus and how I feel about Jesus. And I was really easy going with him. I really tried to understand where he was coming from. But he was kind of one of these people that, would meditate. And there's really nothing wrong with that as long as you're meditating to the Holy Spirit. But he was kind of like the chakra guy. Like he would go out and meditate, and the chakra is really not good juju. Like, it's just not. It's a Hindu thing, and it's just not good juju. But anyway, so I was trying to work on him a little bit, kind of let him know, you don't want to meditate to the chakra or, to Hindu and stuff like that. You kind of want to more meditate to the Holy Spirit and Jesus and stuff like that. And he kind of got on me a little bit about it, but we were still buddies and we still hung out, and we were still cool with each other. He really admired who I was, even though he didn't really agree with everything, my perspective on the Bible and Jesus and stuff. But he kept telling me every time we'd go hiking, he kept telling me, I don't need God. I don't need God to be this all powerful being. And I don't need God to, I don't know how to explain it. Like, he would say stuff like, I can make a cloud disappear in the sky with my mind. And I don't need God to save me. And I don't need God. And basically saying, I don't need God. And so I was like, okay, dude, we'll see how long you last without him. That's basically how I left it, and I just kind of, we would kind of still talk about it and stuff from here to there and everything. And, and because Jesus is a big part of my life. So it always comes up, if you're a friend of mine or we hang out or whatever, it's going to come up, and it's just going to, because he's a big part of my life. I mean, I feel like he's always like right by my side, so it's kind of hard to not talk about it for me because he's just right there. He's right there with me all the time. So it's just kind of like it's just something that he's a big part of my life. So I talk about him a lot. And it's not cuz I'm trying to push it on other people. It's just he is part of me. So, when something is that big and is a part of you, you just can't not talk about it. It'd be like, you have a child and you just, really adore that child. It'd be hard not to talk about your child. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like the same thing, but in a lot different aspect, because God is a lot better and bigger than a child is. Although children are very special and very important to Jesus. But anyway, so I never tried to really push it on him. But anyway, so we were out hiking to one of these Indian dwellings, and the Indian dwelling was called Painted Hand. And he started going on and on and on about how he didn't need God, and I don't need God this, and I don't need God that. And I just told him, I said, keep doing it, keep saying that, man, and you're gonna, just keep saying it, man, just keep saying it. And so he just kept pushing it, and he kept pushing it, and he kept pushing it. And so the closer and closer we get to this Indian dwelling, far off in the distance, there's this cloud. And it was lightning and everything. You could tell this cloud was lightning, and it was a bad storm coming our way. It was kind of interesting because it was just like out in the desert and stuff, you don't get like these big, huge cloud storms. They're like isolated little clouds, like little bursts of little desert storm bursts. And so anyway, so out in the distance, I see this little dark cloud, and I mean it's lightning and everything. You can tell, and it's out in the distance. And I told him, I said, we might want to hurry up because I have a feeling it's gonna lightning over here, and it's not gonna be good. And we're on a lot of clay soil, and it's not gonna be good. We probably better get out of here. I, you know, and he said, "Oh, it's okay. I can." He tried to do the whole mind control thing again. I can make the storm go the other way. And I was like, "Well, good luck trying to do that without God." And I just kind of laughed. Ha ha ha. Good luck trying to do it without God. And he was like, "Don't laugh at me. I'm telling you, I can do this. I can do this." And I was like, "Okay, whatever. Go for it." So he did his thing and whatever. And we went down to the Indian dwelling. And the whole time that I was out there, I felt like God was telling me, okay, well, you got a little bit of time. You got a little bit of time. You got a little bit of time. Because I kept praying. I was like, well, I really want to go down to this Indian dwelling. I want to show my buddy this Indian dwelling, but I don't want to get hit with the storm because flash flooding and it's just good. It's not good. So, and I felt like God was telling me, you got a little bit of time. You got a little bit of time. So we go down to the Indian dwelling and we go in it and we kind of look around and we take our pictures and we have our fun for about 10, 15 minutes. And then God kind of told me, we probably better start to get going back. Better start going back. So I was like, all right, well, we probably better get out of here. The storm's rolling in. So we leave. We get Painted Hand is you kind of walk on top of the cliff on a trail, and then you go down in off the side of the cliff down into the canyon side, and the Indian dwelling's down in there. So anyway, so we come up out of the under the cliff and come back up on the cliff where the trail is, and we get up out of there, and he's like, "Oh crap! I left my camera down there." And it takes a pretty good little clip to get back down and around down in off the canyon down in there where the dwelling is. And I told him, I said, well, Jesus has told me we don't have any more time and we need to get out of here or that storm's going to hit us. And the guy argued with me for a good 10, 15 minutes because I wasn't going to go back down in there. I mean, I'm sorry. Once you're down into the dwelling, it's slippery on those rocks trying to get back up on top of the canyon when it's been raining. And I'm like, I'm just not going to do it, man. I was like, if you want to go back down in there and get your camera, go for it. But I ain't doing it because Jesus told me it's time to go. And when Jesus says it's time to go, it's time to go. And he goes, "Oh, Ashley, I told you I got this. I can make the storm hold off for a minute." I said, "Well, I ain't trusting in you. I'm trusting in what Jesus told me, so I'm going the other way. You can go down in there and get the camera if you want, but I'm leaving." So that's what I did. And he went down into the canyon to get the camera. And I said, "Well, I'll meet you at the car in the parking lot," which is about maybe about a mile away. Not really a whole lot far, maybe more like 3/4 of a mile to a mile tops away to get to the dwelling. So anyways, I'm kind of walking, and then all of a sudden it starts raining a little bit. And I'm still kind of just walking still, and then it starts hailing. And I'm like, oh, shoot. And I'm not kidding you. God told me, run. So I did. I started running. And I'm running. I mean, I'm not like sprinting, but I'm running, and I'm running. And then I look back, and I'm not even kidding you. I look back, and it's hailing behind me. And it is lightning bolting. Clock, 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 all behind me. I mean, it was nuts. And I'm like, oh my God. And I mean, at this point, I'm trucking it. I'm running, you guys. I can't even describe to you what was happening. I mean, trees behind me were blowing in half. Lightning bolts. I'm not even exaggerating, you guys. It was hailing behind me. I mean, right on my tail. It was hailing and lightning, and trees were getting blown up. And I'm just like, oh my God. And I'm running. I'm running, trying to get to my car as quick as I can. And I mean, I'm running out of breath, and I start going to a jog, you know, and it starts hailing again. And I mean, and the crazy thing about it is this the trail, a lot of out in Utah and the Four Corners and stuff. I was out in the Four Corners and Colorado and Utah and Arizona, out on these cliffs and stuff. There's a lot of quartz, and I'm not even kidding you. This quartz was glowing from all the lightning. It was glowing under my feet, you guys. It was the scariest thing I've ever experienced in my life. So, I mean, I'm running. I mean, I was running for my life. Trees are blowing up behind me. It's hailing. I'm running, you guys. It was scary, okay? I'm running. I get in my car and I'm out of breath. I'm sweating. I'm scared. I'm out of breath. I'm like, oh my God, you know? And then once I caught my breath, I thought, oh my God, my friend. He's out in this hailstorm and lightning and trees are blowing up. Oh my God. And I wasn't going to go back out for him. I mean, no way, Jose. I'm not going back out for him. I mean, no way. Not after everything I saw. No way. I'm not doing it. And so I started praying for him. I said, please, God, please help my friend. Please help him get to the car safely. Please help him. Please help him. Please. Please, God, please. And the minute I said, amen, my friend, do, on my car, do. Ashley, let me in. Ashley, let me in. Do. He was covered in clay mud from his head to his toes, soaked. Let me in, Ashley, let me in. And I was praying for a good 10, 15 minutes, you guys. I didn't know if he made it out. And I didn't know if his leg was broke or whatever. And I thought, I'm going to have to go back for him. You know, I'm going to have to let this storm clear out, and I'm going to have to go back for him. And the second I said, and I thought, I'm going to pray for him, and if he doesn't come back, I'm going to go out for him. The second I said, amen, he's do, Ashley, let me in, do. So I let him in. And he was like, Ashley, I am so sorry. He said, you were right. I was out in the middle. He said, I don't know what happened. I got lost on the trail and I got stuck in the mud and I was hanging onto this tree for dear life and I yelled out, I believe. That's what he told me, you guys. He yelled out, I believe. He was so scared. And I kid you not, we had a huge conversation about Jesus Christ before he went back for his camera. And I told him, I said, you're pushing it, man. You're pushing it. You better not be tempting God. I said, that's what you're doing. You're tempting God. You're acting like you don't need him. You're acting like you're also, big and bad, and you do need him. And you better not be saying that stuff. I said, you can go back and get your camera, but I know he told me to leave. And I'm not kidding you guys. Trees were blowing up behind me. Hail everywhere. Big hail. Not little bitty pieces of hail. Big ones, like this, about that big around. I'd say about the size of a ping pong ball. And it was all behind me. And if it wasn't for Jesus telling me to get out of there, I would have been in that hail. I would have been out there. And he was crying. This guy never cries. And he's been through a lot. This guy never cries. And he was like, I'm so sorry, Ashley. I mean, sobbing. He said, I was out there and I was stuck in the mud and I was hanging onto this tree and I was saying, I believe. You know how many people I've warned? And they don't listen. Until something like that happens. And then they'll call me like a year or so later. And they'll go, well, you know what, Ashley? You were right. And I don't care to be right or whatever. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I'm more happy that they got saved, But sometimes it takes a crazy event like that to get people to wake up, So sorry, I'm gonna go back through the comments. I just want to get through my story because I'm very ADD, and I'll start reading people's comments and I'll get off the storyline. So anyway, hi Yadel, thanks for coming in. Hi Tara, thanks for coming in. And Nathaniel, it's okay if you don't understand it. It's okay. I welcome you to the channel no matter what. But I'm just saying, and I've seen bear out in the wild. I've seen moose out in the wild. I've seen wolves out in the wild. I've seen mountain lions out in the wild. I mean, I've hiked 8 to 12 miles before and backpacked and all different. I mean, I've been in some crazy stuff, but nothing like that. That was the scariest thing I think I've ever experienced so far. And, you would have just had to have been there just to see the look on his face and the fear. And he was very bullheaded. I mean, there was nothing I could say to sway him to believe in Jesus. I mean, it didn't matter how nice I was about it. It didn't matter how much I humbled myself. It didn't matter how hard I was about it either. It didn't matter which way I went. He was just, he was some tough cookie. And for him to be in my car crying and saying, I believe, I was just like, wow. It took that for him. You know what I mean? And I'm realizing now with a lot of the stuff that I've dealt with on YouTube that it's going to take that for some people. Um, it really is. It's going to take that for some people. And I don't care whether you believe me or not. God is my witness. It happened. It happened. And it was crazy. And he said the moment his feet hit that Indian dwelling, it started hailing. And he didn't even get his camera. He was so scared. He didn't even get his camera. And we had to go back the next week and go back and get his camera. But yeah, it was a crazy adventure. It was definitely something I'll never forget. And he calls me about every year. About once a year he'll call me and he'll go, "Hey Ashley, hey, how are you doing?" He goes, "I'll never forget that time we were out at the Painted Hand at the Indian dwelling. I'll never forget that time." And I'm like, "Yeah, are you still doing good? You still believing?" And I mean, he's not perfect by any means. He struggles a lot with a lot of different things. But I don't think he'll ever forget that. And you never know how God will work into somebody's life. It could take something like that dramatic, for somebody to say yes. Some people, they read the Bible and they come to Jesus. Some people go to church a couple times and they come to Jesus. Some people, you know what I mean? Some people come to Jesus young, some people come to Jesus old, some people come to Jesus for this reason or that reason. You know, I just know that I want to serve him and that I love him and that he loves me. And, I've learned that, we got to be gentle on people. We really do. And that, God is the judge. We're not the judge. God is the judge. Because my sin is no bigger or smaller than your sin. All sin is sin to God. We like to think that some sin is bigger than other sins. Lying and cussing to us might not be as big of a sin as murder and homosexuality or whatever, or vice versa. We might think that those sins might be more, but to God, sin is sin. It's all the same to him. And that's why we need his grace. We need his grace. And it could take something so small for somebody to believe. It could take something big, like that lightning and hailstorm, for somebody to believe. But I've also noticed that we've got to be patient, we've got to be kind, we've got to humble ourselves. I for one, when I get hot and heated, especially when somebody tells me stuff like, you know, Jesus wasn't sacrificed. He was just a prophet. I get hot, man. I'm like, oh no, you didn't. And I don't always handle those situations the best that I should. There are times that I get in the oh no, you didn't mode, and then I look back on it later and I'm like, well, maybe I should have handled that a little better. Maybe I should have, handled that. It's not that what I was saying was wrong. It was just the way I handled it was wrong, because I'm real passionate about Jesus. And when somebody says, the serpent in the garden is the good guy, or Jesus was never sacrificed, or he doesn't have a name, and stuff like that, I get heated. I'm like, oh no, you didn't. And I get all up into it. And then I'm thinking, to the point where in a way, I'm kind of like, let me step in here and take care of this, Jesus, because I love you and I'm going to get hot and passionate about you. And it's really like Jesus is like, whoa, simmer down now. I can take care of this. Know what I mean? Not that I literally did that. I just, in a symbolic kind of way, I did do that because I'm like, oh no, you didn't, and you know what? I'm gonna tell you something, and I'm gonna this, and I'm gonna that, and I'm gonna tell you what, and it's like, wait a minute, Jesus can take care of himself, you know what I mean? And I really had to humble myself the last couple of days and realize, I need to be able to handle these situations in a humble way where not that I can't speak out about these things, not that I can't stand up for Jesus and things like that, but that Jesus can take care of himself. The word is enough. Jesus is enough. He doesn't need me, you know what I mean, to show that he's real. You know what I mean? Not that I'm going to stop, talking about him. I mean, I don't claim to be a teacher. I don't claim to be a pastor. I'm just a girl that loves Jesus. That's it. And I come on here and I tell people my testimony. I tell people the things that I've been through, like the story I just said, to let people kind of know my testimony and things that have happened to me. Just to let people know how God has worked in my life, how he works in other people's lives, how, you might think that, well, I got to tell somebody this, this, and this. You know what I mean? And you thinking, if I don't tell them this, and this way, then they're never going to be saved. You know what I mean? And then they'll come back to a year later and they'll be like, you know what? I went to this church and now I'm saved. And you know what? And you're like, wow, because a year ago, it didn't matter what I said, they weren't going to believe. But then now they call me a year later and now they're saved because something happened. You know what I mean? And it's like, we got to plant that seed in a humble, loving way. And let Jesus take care of the rest. Because it doesn't matter how you say it. And we should be speaking up for Jesus. If somebody says, like, really pisses me off when people say things like he wasn't sacrificed and he was just a prophet and stuff like that. And it fires me up. It really does. But I've also realized in that it's okay to feel that fire, but don't let it get you so fired up to where you're not being able to say it in a humbling way. Jesus was a very humble man, and there wasn't very many times, you know what I mean? Like he flipped the tax table over, you know what I mean? Like he flipped the table over, and I mean there were some times that he got upset, but I've just realized is that that there's a place and time to get fired up, and then there's also a place and time where I need to talk with a humble voice and humble mannerism, and I'm really bad about not handling situations. It's not that I didn't do the right thing, it's just I don't always handle it the right way. And I'm trying to learn how to handle certain situations in a right way because somebody will tell me he's not this and he's not that, and I'll get fired up. And, and I've just realized that it's better to stay calm, cool, and collected. And it's okay to speak how you feel, and it's okay to stand up for Jesus. We should be doing that, but we should be doing it in a humble way, And I have a hard time doing that sometimes because, like I said, I'm like, oh no, you didn't just say that about Jesus. Oh no, you didn't. And then before I know it, I'm like, wow, I kind of got a little out of hand there, Not, like I said, not that I didn't do the right thing. I just got to learn how to humble myself and handle these situations a lot better, And like I said before, I'll be the first person to come on here and on my good days and my bad days to let people know that they're not alone. We all struggle. We all are trying to do our best, to serve Jesus. And that's the thing. We are servants. That's another thing I want to say. We are Jesus' servants. We are not Jesus. So we need to keep that in perspective. A lot of people get this oh so righteous mentality and they put themselves up on a pedestal like they're Jesus or something. Or like they're like this literally an angel or something. And it's like, get off your high horse, like seriously. You know what I mean? And so sometimes people need to be corrected. Sometimes I need to be corrected. But we need to do it in a humble way, and I've had to learn that. I really had, I mean, I'll be the one to say that, I've had to learn that. Exactly, praise why pair just us. God is slow to anger and righteous in judgment, and we should be that way too. We should be slow to anger, and we should be able to know that God is the judge, not us. And we do need to stand up for Jesus when people say incorrect things, like the serpent is good and in the Garden of Eden. We should be able to stand up against those things, but we should be able to do it in a humble and in a genuine way. Exactly. In a genuine way. Humble is doing it. And in the first place, getting God's back, in a sense, being an honest witness. Yeah, I mean, we got to be able to humble ourselves and do it in a way that, because and I'm bad about it. I get passionate and I'm like, da 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 da. You know what I mean? And people are like, whoa, some people just can't handle it. They're like, woo, she's a pistol, and I really am. And, but I've learned, especially these last couple days and these last, month or so, that I've really got to, chill down a little bit. That it's okay to want to stand up for Jesus, and it's okay to come on here and express what it really is and what it should be and things like that. But it's not, that I got to humble myself. So, oh, I got another story to tell you guys since Praise Wise here on here. Let me read a couple comments here. Tara says, yes, absolutely. She said, I heard a few say Jesus was like Muhammad. And I'm like, what? Have you lost your mind? I get you, Ashley. Like, stuff like that fires me up. I'm like, what? Are you serious? And then I just go off. And then before I know it, I'm like, wow, I should have handled that better. God slowed it. Yeah, exactly. And Tara Martin says, yeah, sometimes it may turn into a heated debate. I definitely have to breathe and bite my tongue now and then. Exactly. I've just learned that the seed is better planted in a humble and soft way. than it is in a forceful way. Um, and it takes time for people. You know, it took time for me. God knows, it took time for me. It really did. I mean, I was saved as a really young girl, but then I backslid really, really bad, really quick in high school. So, you know, I mean, you know, praise why paradjust us. When I did my what video, it's not that I was wrong in anything that I did with it. I just, I just feel like I should have handled it better, you know. So I'm not gonna keep repeating myself, but and that's kind of why I did the video following that, which was First Timothy chapter 4 verses 1 and 2 about, you know, my real main point about it is I don't want people falling into the seductive devilish spirits that are out there. There are these seductive devilish seducing spirits out there right now. Especially on YouTube, I've found more than a handful of them. And for some reason, and I know there's a reason why, that I've stumbled across every single one of these people. I've met people that think that they're Jesus, and then they'll lie about it later. Oh, well, I never said that. I've had people that say that there's the seventh angel, and then, oh, well, I never said that I wasn't the seventh angel. And then I've had people say that, you know, the two witnesses, and just crazy stuff, and that they're literally angels and stuff like that. I mean, I've met a lot, and I shouldn't say a lot, but I've met more than a handful of people that think these things. And I just know that there's a reason why I have. I don't know if it's some kind of spiritual training is what it feels like. It feels like a spiritual training. It really does. It feels like I'm being spiritually trained to discern things. And it's okay to spiritually discern, but I've also been training into being humble too while I'm discerning. You know, so it's like I'm being spiritually trained. You know, I feel like we're all in a sense being spiritually trained and by Jesus right now. And he's like preparing us for a bigger battle. And he's gonna pick his best soldiers. And he's watching all of us right now, guiding all of us right now, and seeing who he wants to pick for his, this is just symbolically, seeing who he wants to pick for his shield guys, and who he wants to pick for his spear guys, and who he wants to pick for his, you know, guys that are on the horse with the swords, and the bow and arrow guys, and the guys that load the catapults and stuff like that. Like, I'm just using that as a symbolic way of what I feel like Jesus is doing right now. Like, he's gathering his flock, and he's testing us and training us. And I just feel like that's what Jesus is doing right now. Like, he's training us up for something bigger that's coming up here soon. And all I can say is we got to pray on everything, and we've got to focus on him with everything we got, you know. And the devil is going to try to send these seductive spiritual people to kind of seduce you. You know what I mean? And I've seen it happen a lot lately. People get all, in 1 minute, they're like, no, 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 I probably better not, because they know that they're bad. They know that it is a seductive, evil spirit. And they know they shouldn't be listening to him. But then it seduces them. Then it's like it hits their weak point. It hits their weak point, and then they get him reeled back in. Then they're reeled back in to this seductive, evil spirit. You know what I mean? And it's just sad to me, because I'm like, I'm like, watch out, watch out. Don't go there. Don't do that, and here lately I've been really passionate about it, and I get all all hyper about it, and I'm like, it might be better off for me to say it in a humble way than to get all woo woo woo, and all this stuff about it, because it's going to take me to humble myself to get across to some of these people of the warning of these seductive evil spirits that are coming out more and more and more and more these days. And it's a test. It is a test. We're in spiritual training. And if you get so soaked up into a seductive spirit because you're like, oh, I want to be accepted by these people, so I'm just going to give in. That's not good enough. That's not good enough. I mean, I'm sorry. I hate to say that, but that's not good enough. We've got to be able to fight these seductive spirits. And sometimes that means going alone. Sometimes that means you don't have very many friends. Sometimes that means you have no friends. Sometimes that means your family thinks you're nuts. Sometimes that means, you lose your job, or you whatever it is. You know what I mean? And these seductive, evil spirits will try and seduce you. And I've seen it a lot. I've seen it a lot in Hollywood and in movies. And it's like the other day, I was with my family and we were watching The Voice. And my mom loves watching The Voice. And I'm not going to lie, some of those singers that get up there are beautiful singers. And, exactly, CIE. I mean, that's what I was just explaining, that I get very passionate, I get very loud, but in the last couple of days or so, I've realized that it's okay to speak out against these things, but I need to be able to do it in a humble way. But anyway, so I was watching The Voice, and everything was really cool, and it was great. And then all of a sudden, they just had to do it. They just had to. They just had to do it. I can't remember who the singer was, but it was some little guy in a little zebra striped jacket, and he gets out there and he's singing about, I'm gonna pray for you in the Garden of Evil. And I'm like, what? They just had to do it. They just had to. And then he come out and there was a huge pentagram, not a pentagram, a huge triangle, and it had a couple Wiccan symbols on it. And I'm like, are you serious? We can't even watch The Voice. And there are 14, 13-year-old girls up there singing their life away. And no, they just had to have a guest star get up there and sing about this evil garden or whatever. They just had to do it. And then they put the triangle up there, and they put a bunch of Wiccan symbols up there. And I'm like, seriously, you guys just had to do it. You just had to. You know, just had to. And we have to realize that the devil is here. Like, he's influencing people. It says in the Bible that the devil is the ruler of this spiritual world right now that we live in. You know what I mean? God has him by a leash, don't get me wrong. But if you just take a look around and you'll see the devil is hard at work right now. And it is a big test right now, you guys. And we are in a spiritual battle. And so we've got to realize, but there is a Bible verse that talks about how not only is the prince and the power of the air, it talks about how he also is, I don't want to say God of this world, but he's something of the world, too. I have to look that up because I'm not good about just, I'm not good about just speaking the but I don't have a bunch of Bible verses memorized and stuff like that, so I can't just spit them off right at the. But anyways, he just had to do it. And then so he gets out there and he's singing and stuff. Oh, I'll pray for you in the garden of evil, and I'm like, "Oh my God." And then I go, "Mom, did you just hear that?" And you'd be surprised how brainwashed these television shows make people. Because I saw my mom, she literally goes, "Oh, yeah, the God of this world." Thank you, CIA, in First Thessalonians. So you know what I'm saying. Paul refers to him as the God of this world. So that's exactly what I was saying. And but it's not gonna be for very much longer. Jesus is gonna come down and he's gonna proclaim what's his, and heaven's gonna come to earth. I know it says that somewhere in the Bible too, because I've read the Bible. So, so my mom, she said right then and there, she said, um, "Oh, he's a Christian singer. And he didn't say Garden of Evil, he said Garden of Eden." I said, "Mom, no, he didn't." I was like, "Listen to him again." And he said, again, he went through the verse in his song. He said, "You in the Garden of Evil." She goes, "Wow, he did say that." I said, "I told you." I said, "See how they're brainwashing people?" And it went whoo right over her head, right over her head. I'm like, "Mom, you got to wake up." And I mean, and I love my mom, and she's a great Christian lady, and she's a good, giving, loving woman. And I would never say that she's not going to heaven, but she has definitely um just watched too much TV. I mean, she just woo. And I was like, do you see the triangle? Do you see that? Do you see that?" I was like, "That's not good, Mom." And I said, "Do you see that little moon symbol and that little symbol and this little symbol? Those are not good." I said, "Those are Wiccan." And then at the end of his song, he did some weird thing on the top of his forehead. I don't know what he did because I don't know what it is. But when he did it, literally, my spirit blocked it. My spirit was like, "Kah!" I was like, "Whoa!" It was a spell. I knew exactly when he did it that it was a spell. See, that's what I mean. We're in training right now, you guys. We're in training right now. And God has really revealed a lot through everything that I've been through with all of these seducing evil spirits on YouTube and out in the world right now. And and I'm gonna hide the chat for a minute because I don't want to get all ADD right now. But we are literally are in training right now. I think Jesus is really trying to show me what the devil's trying to do right now. And he's trying to help me to be able to discern what to steer clear from and what, um, you know, there's a lot of forks in the road right now, lots of them. And he's trying to go, okay, go this way, go that way, stay on the narrow path. He's trying to keep me on the narrow path. He's trying to keep, us trained and able to spiritually be able to discern these evil spirits that are trying to attack us right now. And that's just how I personally feel about it. He's training us. And in a way, he's kind of letting this happen so we can level up. So we can level up. And the more that we level up, the better we're going to get at discerning this and being able to steer clear from that and to be able to, learn battling skills and stuff like that, And, like I said, I've had to learn how to humble myself. That's something that I've had to learn lately, and I've had to learn not to judge so much and that seeds are better planted with a soft heart, and, it doesn't have to be, so bah, 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 it doesn't have to be like that. And, so, I, for one, am not going to come on here and act like I'm perfect, like I've got it all figured out, like I handle everything oh so righteously, because I don't. I don't sit on my high horse because I don't want people thinking they're alone in this. People are not alone in this. And a lot of people, we have a lot of learning to do. I don't care how much you've read the Bible or how much you haven't read the Bible. We all have a lot to learn in this. We really do. And I think that, we all have a job to do in this. And let's just say, for example, I'm a shield gal and you're a sphere guy or something. And I'm going to have different battling skills than you do because you're a sphere guy and I'm a shield gal. So I'm going to have different mysteries revealed to me. I'm going to have different training and different skills and different things that Jesus has taught me and revealed to me than he does to the sphere guy. But together, we fight so much better together. You know what I mean? And we need to spend a lot, and I've done this, I'm bad about this myself. We need to spend a lot less time going, well, why weren't you trained this? And why didn't you see this? And if you had the Holy Spirit in you, you would know this, 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 and this. But wait a minute. I'm a shield guy. If I'm a shield gal, then I'm going to know the shield training. I'm not going to know the sphere training. And then I'm going to be like, well, you should know this, 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 and this. And if you have the Holy Spirit in you, then you should know that, that, that. And then that person's like, well, wait a minute, I'm a sphere guy. I don't know all that stuff about the shield stuff because I'm a sphere guy. You know what I mean? So in a symbolic way, that's what we're doing. And we got to steer clear from that and realize that we all have a job to do. And that when we come together, when all the shield people come together and all the sphere people come together and all the bow and arrow people come together and all the horsemen on the horseback with the swords come together, we work really good together. And that we have to work together against this. And different mysteries are going to be revealed to different people at different times. That's why I like watching other people's channels too, because I'm like, wow, I didn't look at it that way or whatever. And then I'm like, wow, that's kind of cool. And then some people will come to my channel and they'll go, wow, you really inspired me because I didn't look at it this way or that way or whatever. And together you see how we work so much better together than we do on this high horse of I've got it all figured out, and if you don't believe what I'm saying, then get the hell off my channel, or however you explain it, then to be like, I'm just going to humbly tell them my opinion, and they're either going to see it or they're not. And it doesn't mean that they're not saved, but in due time, you never know. They could come back and be like, you know what? You were right about this or you were right about that, because I've been studying or I've been doing this and that. And I realized that you were pretty legit in that, it takes time for some people, and it takes time for me too. And so we've got to realize that. And okay, so I'm going to turn the chat back on. You're always more than welcome to listen, Nathan, as long as you behave. Stephen Kennedy, thanks for coming in. Okay, let's see what CIA has to say. Stephen Kennedy says, we have authority now in Jesus' name. We do have authority, but we have to keep it in perspective. We can't be so hard on people all the time. And I have been kind of a little cha 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 cha, you know what I mean? I try not to be, but I get really passionate. I really do. It's it's more of a passion than it is of hatred. Garden of Evil being this world? Well, I don't think so, because he got out there and danced underneath a triangle and Wiccan symbols, so I don't think it was very good. Who hath delivered us from the power of darkness and hath translated us into the kingdom of his dear Son. We have been translated into a different kingdom, not one of this world. No, it's okay, CIA. I just get really... I'm ADD, you know, so it's just one of those things. I love reading all your comments, but I just have to do one thing at a time. So just be patient with me. I care about all of you and I want to hear all of your comments. Anything that tries to separate us from Jesus Christ is inherently false. That should be our foundation. Jesus Christ should be our foundation. He is our cornerstone. You know. Speak softly and carry a big hammer. That's so true. Stephen Kennedy or a sword. Thanks for coming in, Tara. Have a good night. Get some rest. Or scalpel. Praise by Parajusta says, I am the Lord, there is no other God. I have equipped you for battle, though you don't even know me. So all the world from east to west will know there is no other God. Isaiah 45:5-6. That's right. Every knee is going to bow and every tongue is going to confess. Right on, Ashley. Different functions in the body. That's right. I mean, you know, one of us could be the thumb, one of us could be the arm, one of us, you know, symbolically could be the leg or the foot or whatever, you know, when it comes to the body of Christ, you know, and we are the body of Christ. Praise Wise says, this is exactly the same message I'm getting over here. Nathan says, see, I can be a respectful guy. Well, that's good. I'm glad you can. That shows a lot of your character. So I know when we get on Doug's channel, we get a little... We get a little into the cookies. And then before you know it, we get all hyper and we start laughing and going on. I like Doug's start laughing and going on, and we joke around a lot and stuff, you know. We do. We have a lot of fun, you know. It's a lot of fun, and some of the jokes are a little overboard for me. I'm not gonna lie, but I try to go in there and I try to go in there and be funny, but I'm kind of that little innocent little girl that comes in there and I just listen to the jokes and I laugh at them because I'm not very good at making those kind of jokes. I'm just not. I'm just not very good at it, Nathan. I try. I do. So, I got another story for you guys. I was out on a hike, and I was going to another Indian dwelling, and I believe it was Cutthroat Castle. And I was hiking out to it because I couldn't get my car to go any farther down the road because the road that goes farther down to where that dwelling is oh, I know, we pick on each other, but that's just because we care about each other. I'm going to turn the comments off for just a little while. So anyway, so I was going to Cutthroat Castle and I had to hike down the road because there's a lot of potholes and I couldn't get my car through there. So, I start hiking and I get probably about 2 miles down the road to where the actual trail is that goes to Cutthroat Castle, which is an Indian dwelling. And so anyway, so once I got to the trail, I kind of hiked down the trail a little ways and then I sat on the side of the cliff there and I kind of dangled my feet, you know, on the side of the cliff and I got my backpack out and I started eating my lunch. And anyway, so I'm enjoying my lunch and everything. This is before I had a dog. I didn't have a dog. I had a cat, and so anyway, so I didn't have a dog or anything. So I'm sitting there and I'm enjoying my lunch, and it was kind of like, I was there's the side of the cliff, and I was sitting there, and then there was a line of shrubs, and then the trail. So anyway, so I'm sitting there and I'm eating my lunch, and I kind of hear some movement on the trail, and I'm thinking, oh, it's probably just some people hiking on the trail. I mean, there's a trail there, but there was a line of shrubbery right there, and I couldn't really see very good. I just assumed that it was some more hikers coming from the Indian site. And I look back, and it's two brown bears. And I'm like, oh no, what am I going to do? And they're getting closer and closer and closer. Two of them, single file. And they couldn't have been any bigger than a year or two old. They weren't very big. I mean, it wasn't like seeing two grizzly bears. You know what I mean? They weren't very big. But it was still scary nonetheless. I mean, I didn't have a gun. I didn't have bear spray. Nothing. And I'm like, what am I going to do? I can either jump into the canyon, into the tree below me, and break my leg. That's not going to be good. Because all I had was there's a little cliff, and then there's the shrubbery and the trail. I had nowhere to go. I really had nowhere to go. So it was like, okay, what am I going to do? And I had a pocket knife on me, so I pulled my pocket knife out, and I thought, well, if I have to, I'll throw my backpack at him, and then I'll slowly, back away and get on the trail. And so I kind of started, doing the hey bear, kind of start hooting and hollering. And as I was doing that, he poked his head through the shrubs. And I'm not even kidding you. I prayed. And I was like, I was really scared. And I was like, please, Jesus, let them know that I know you. I don't know why I prayed that. Why I prayed that one prayer, but I did. I was like, please, Jesus, let him know that I know you, because I don't want to fight a bear and I don't want to get hurt. That was my prayer. And I'm not even kidding you. That bear was so close to me. And I was scared to go, hey, bear, anymore, because I thought he's so close to me, he might take it as a threat, I didn't know what to do because I was already going, hey, bear, and they were just keep coming closer. They were curious little shits. Sorry, excuse me. So anyway, he poked his head through the shrubs, and he was so close, I could see his nose sniffing on me. I could see his nose moving, and I could see down in his eyes. That's how close he was. And I prayed that prayer, and the minute I prayed that, he grunted and went, huh, like that. And then he grunted at the other bear behind him, like, huh, like that. And then he grunted away from me and went, huh, like that. And then he went away from me. And I was like, oh, thank you, Jesus. But there was something about that moment when I was looking into that bear's eyes and I prayed that prayer. I mean, I know this is going to sound crazy. It was like he knew that I believed in Jesus. I know that sounds crazy, but there was just something about it. It's like he knew that I prayed that. And it was just like an angel was there or something. I don't know. It was just like he knew. And it was like he just grunted to his buddy behind him and said, oh, it's just a girl with a backpack. And then he grunted away from me. Let's just go this way. And the way he grunted is the way they went. And I'm like, oh my God. And I grabbed my backpack and I hiked around trust me, I was scared. But I grabbed my backpack and I went to that Indian dwelling because I hiked 1.5 miles to get to where I was, and I wasn't going to give up, especially when I knew that they weren't a threat to me. I'm a pretty gutsy little girl. I'm not kidding you. That happened. God is my witness. That happened. I'm going to turn the messages back on here. That's right. I'm telling you, Steven, I swear it was like they heard me. Have a good night, CIE. I know it's kind of late. So, have a good one. I'm telling you, it was like because I prayed to Jesus. I was like, please let them know that I know you. Because I don't want to do this. I don't want to fight a bear, and I don't want to hurt him, and I don't want him to hurt me. And, I was just like, wow. I mean, the power of Jesus, the protection, It was like, why not go down to the trail? I mean, it was like, it just had me going. I was like, I'm going. You know what I mean? I was like, I can go, thou shalt not. I mean, I don't know how to say it. Thou shalt not pass. But I mean, it was just like, yes. I was like, wow, Jesus can even protect you from 2 bears. I mean, and don't be going and just having blind faith, okay? But I'm telling you, it was like they knew that I called for Jesus. And they were like, okay, it's just a girl. It's just a Jesus girl. Let's go. That's like that was their mentality. It's just a Jesus girl. Let's just go. I'm like, wow. It's like, who was that was, in the lion's den? Was it Daniel? I know, I don't. Was it Daniel that went into the lion's den? It was like that. It really was. I was like, woo! Man, it pumped me up. I was like, I'm going down the trail. Nothing can stop me now. Oh, that's so cute, Steven. Your dogs pray with you. That's so cute. My dog distracts me when I'm praying, little heifer. Yeah, they were like, it's just a Jesus. It's a girl that believes in Jesus. Let's just get out of here. It's not worth it, That's what it was like. I was like, what? I was all proud about it. I was let's keep hiking, because anybody else would have been like, okay, we're gonna go back to the car. We're gonna hike back. I was like, it made me feel, and all glory and praise be to Jesus Christ, Yeshua. But I'm not gonna lie, it made me feel protected, like so protected that I could have fought a lion. You know what I mean? I could have fought Goliath that day because I was like, wow. So I think it was Daniel that was in the lion's den. I can't remember who it was, but I'm thinking it was Daniel that was in the lion's den. So anyway, I want to play some more music. I just thought I would share some stories with you guys. And play some more music here. I'm telling you, I'm a faith person. I'm like, black, 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 black. Steven, you're so funny. They were like, dang, we were looking for a heathen. Sorry, it's backwards. I also want to let you guys know that you can get these fabulous, beautiful Jesus magnets that go on your car. It's gods10.com. That's GOSS or GODS, the number 10.com. $10 a piece. But it's a great way to promote Jesus. This says Jesus, the name above all names. This one says legalize Jesus. This is the Ten Commandments. And this one is Yeshua, the name above all names. So they don't have just Jesus ones. They got a lot of them that say Yeshua, because a lot of people like to say Yeshua other than just Jesus. So even though I believe both names work. So I'm gonna play some music here. Wonderful people too that sell those magnets. You never know how something this simple can lead somebody to Jesus. You just never know how something this simple can lead somebody to Jesus. The guy that sells these, he has them all over his truck. I only got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them on my truck. He's got like 20 or like 50 of them. It's ridiculous how many he has on his car, on his truck. But this guy come up to him, and he had all these on his truck, and this guy come up to him and knocked on his truck window, and he said, "Hey, I really need you to pray for me. I'm struggling about." He said, "Well, I was thinking about committing suicide today," and he said, "I really need you to pray for me, and I asked God for a sign, and that if He didn't show me a sign, then I was gonna kill myself in the morning." And he said, "And then I saw your truck, and I had to come up here and ask you to pray for me." And that man prayed for him and saved him that very night. So you never know how something simple, like a Yeshua magnet, or a God's Ten Commandment magnet, or, a Jesus magnet, can be that sign that saves somebody. Or it could be, somebody could be praying on the side of the road, and then they see this Jesus magnet on the side of your truck, and that could be the very sign that makes them believe. You just never know. So anyway, gods10.com. That's gods, the number 10.com. They're $10 a piece. They're pretty good little size, a little bigger than my hand. I'd say they're probably about 5 by 4 inches, somewhere in there. They have bigger ones that are $40 a piece, and they're huge. They're huge. They're pretty big, So check it out. It's a really cool. And what's also very humbling about it is this guy sells them for $10 a piece, but he spends $12 a piece on them. So he's not making money on these. He's losing money, because he wants people to be able to afford to buy them. So, it's not, I love those people that I met. They're from Columbia Falls, Montana, is where they sell them at. And I met them up there when I was working at Glacier National Park, and they are wonderful people. They really are. They really, really are. We don't always agree on everything, but they are wonderful people, and they helped me through a lot of things. And they do revivals. That's what they do. They do revivals. It's not really a typical, go to church on Sunday type thing. It's every day. They do a revival every single day at 7 o'clock every single day. It's not just every Sunday. And they don't ask for money. They don't have an offering bucket. So, you know what I mean? Like, they're not like a typical church, where they're greedy and they want money and they got all these big screens. It's a tent. It's a tent out in the middle of Montana, And it was really refreshing to see that. It was really refreshing to see that, because I was like, it was amazing. I can't even describe to you how amazing they were, amazing people they were. We had a couple of little differences, but, we didn't squabble over our differences. We just had an amazing time together, and it was they're just amazing people. And you just never know how something small like that could save somebody. You just never know. So you're more than welcome to check out their website, gods10.com, and get you a magnet or just check it out. And so I just want to let you guys know that. And I'm going to start singing some music here for Jesus here. Once I get some water. Okay, hopefully I don't get too much feedback on my amp. The sun's shining and I'm breezing through the streets to get that feeling. Yeah, my shades on and I'm walking. I know I can get that feeling. Yeah, nothing can bring me down, now. 'Cause I got you, Jesus, you. The buzz in the air, I can see it. The look on my face, and I get that feeling. You're still shining your light for me. You're here, and I get that feeling. Yeah, nothing can bring me down, now. 'Cause I got you, Jesus, you. I know you are here with me. There's no other way I can see it. Yeah. Show me the way of the feeling of love and peace I can celebrate it. And nothing can bring me down, now. 'Cause I got you, Jesus, you. And Jesus, you. And Jesus, you. And Jesus, you. I tell you what, every time I play that song, I feel Jesus. Every time I play the I know you are here with me part, I just get this feeling that he just stops in and sits down and listens to my song for just like a little while. He really likes that song. A lot of people like that song, but I know Jesus really likes that song because I feel him every time I play that song. I feel him a lot all the time anyway, but I feel him every time I play that song. And it's so nice, it's so peaceful, and it's so assuring, that, that I'm doing right with my music. I'm also doing my music in a studio right now, and eventually I'm going to have copies of it and stuff. I don't have a record label or anything like that. It's just, I'm just recording my songs and stuff, and eventually I'll have like a little CD and stuff, and eventually I'll be able to give my CDs away, and so eventually I'll be able to give my CDs away, and I'll be able to bless other people with gospel music, with the gospel music that I've made, and I feel just so blessed and honored to be able to do that. Love that song, those kind of things. Also, comfort on the journey and confirmation in the synchronicity when we see them or feel them. Yeah, totally. I mean, Praised by Perry Just Us. Do you play the guitar, or you play the guitar or the piano or something? I know Warren plays the harmonica. Man, he can play that thing too. He sounds good when he's playing that harmonica. Acoustic guitar? That's cool. I love acoustic guitar. I love it. Um, God gives my vocals to back up others. No lead. I don't know what you mean by that. I don't know. I mean, I kind of know what you're saying, but I don't know for sure. Who's left here? I don't know. I don't really care. I just let people come and go. See, that's the other thing about my channel. I don't really care about subscribers. I mean, I care about people. I'm not saying that, and I care about who comes here and stuff because I want to help spread the gospel and stuff. But like, I don't ever come on here and say, sub to my channel, like, subscribe. You know what I mean? Like, that's, I don't really care about all that. Like, I go to other channels and I enjoy talking to other people and other channels that promote other channels because I meet a lot of people through there. And I try to gain people to spread the gospel, not gain people to better my channel. You know what I mean? And people can come and go as they please. You know what I mean? Oh, okay. That's cool. Yeah, there ain't nothing wrong with backup singers. Sometimes some songs need a little backup singer. Just a little ambiance. The backup singers kind of put a little ambiance in some music sometimes. Lives in me, for in him I live, he's in me, for I live for him. Jesus lives in me, for in him I live. Oh, he's in me, for I live for him. I watched your channel a little bit, Praise Why Parajusta, so I know you're a female. I'll do this day by day, holding my hand right by my side, showing me grace. Oh, for we will play in the rain, dancing on rainbows, holding my hand right by my side. And ooh, ooh, alone, you're right by my side, you're right by my side. And ooh, ooh, alone, you shine so bright, you shine so bright, and we've been dancing in the rain, yeah. And we've been talking in the plains, yeah. And he's been holding, 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 ooh, holding me, holding me, holding me. So, I guess somebody left. Maybe they came back now, because now there's 2 again. So, I'm gonna play one more song for you guys tonight, then I'm gonna go to bed, because I don't even know what time it is. It's 11:30 already. I know there won't be a day when we will see this place, and it will never be the same. 'Cause God will come to rearrange you. I know there won't be a day when we will see this place, and it will never be the same. 'Cause God has come to rearrange you. What it is and always was and what it will be. Can't you see? And ooh, God, and ooh, You know, I've had this bass for a long time. I got this bass when I was in high school, when I was like 13, 14 years old, when I was a freshman. And you know what's funny is I used to play songs on this like Marilyn Manson and Slipknot and Metallica and really bad stuff. And now I'm playing gospel music on it. Isn't that funny? I think that's funny. To me, that's funny. So anyway, sorry I wasn't playing very good tonight. I try, but it is what it is. I play better than some nights than others. Yeah, I've changed the strings. Yeah. Good God, if I hadn't changed the strings, it would sound horrible by now. Some fruit out of a hot mess it took to get through all the fraudulence, fellowship with those out of line for Christ Jesus. I agree, you know. Sometimes it it takes going through the darkness, you know, to get to the light. You know, I asked God why I went through all that dark stuff when I was in high school, and the only thing he said was to prepare me for today, and now I know what he meant by that. So, you know, I went through all that darkness, so I know what it looks like. So I can, you know, he's been working on me for a long time, and yeah, so, you know, sometimes we got to go through that to know what it looks like so we can discern it better whenever we come back to Jesus. You know, we go through all of our struggles, trials, and tribulations for a reason. You know, sometimes it doesn't seem like that when we're in it, but it's true. So, I'm going to go ahead and get off here. I didn't realize, wow, I've been on here for almost 2 hours. So, I had a wonderful time tonight with you guys. I hope I was able to do a good message and do Jesus Christ honor and glory and praise as always. And have a good night, guys. Thanks for coming in and seeing my channel, and ask Mom to make us dinner. Okay. So thanks everybody for coming in. I appreciate it. Have a great night. Love and peace.